The crazy increase in both fixed and variable rate mortgages in just 30 days, why you will qualify for a smaller mortgage today. Does Alberta still have the highest median income of all provinces? Oil, inflation, and the Ukraine impact on Alberta real estate, and of course, real estate investing and the Calgary real estate statistics for March 2021. I've put in hours into this video and I'm super excited about this market update for you guys. And I want to start off with the things that affect the Calgary real estate market: income, oil, inflation, and the war with Ukraine. Then I will go through the Calgary real estate statistics and then finish off with the insane mortgage rate increases in just the last 30 days. The reason why everyone could qualify for a smaller mortgage and how you can protect yourself from rising rates, so make sure you stick around to the end for that. Hey guys, my name is Felix Shan, Calgary Realtor and mortgage broker with the LiveInnerCity real estate team, helping you keep real estate simple, and let's go. I like taking a macro perspective that expands further than real estate in our province, because the following things does affect real estate in some form. Alberta income. For some context, about 25% of Alberta's GDP comes from oil and gas. And in 2014, oil prices were pretty healthy but crashed near the end of the year. Now, this report came from ATB Financial. In 2014, the median market income in Alberta was about $29,000 higher than Canada as a whole. In 2020, during the COVID lockdown and a period of low consumption, the Alberta median market income was still $15,000 higher than Canada as a whole. So even in times when oil is not doing so well, our income fared better than the rest of Canada. By the way, we don't have PST here. And that takes us to the next topic: oil. Now, Canada sits on the third largest reserves in the world. Given today's environment, we plan to boost oil and gas exports by about 5%, or about 300,000 barrels per day. Now, the question is, will 5% be enough to keep the economy strong in Alberta? Now, some things holding us back from more production are things like infrastructure. North America's largest pipeline company, Calgary-based Enbridge, says that, quote, at the moment, both liquids and natural gas systems are at or near capacity. That they have been reluctant to increase output after years of pressure from investors to avoid costly expansion projects and problems from a shortage of workers and equipment. Oil sands are not building any more facilities. If there are no investments in the oil sands, then no new jobs will be created, which means less migration to Alberta, which means less demand for housing. Another factor is that on March 29th, 2020, Trudeau announced that in order for Canada to meet its climate plan to reduce emissions by 2030, he wants a 42% reduction of emissions from the oil and gas sector. So how will these factors play out and impact Alberta's economy, which eventually impacts Calgary real estate? Well, to be honest, I wish I was smart enough to answer that for you guys, but let me know in the comments below what you guys think. It would be awesome hearing from you. Ukraine. Cool fact, did you guys know that Canada has the third largest Ukrainian population in the world? The federal government is considering offering economic support to Canadians who are willing to take in Ukrainians who are fleeing the war. I mean, they're already doing this in the UK, offering households monthly payments to house Ukrainian refugees. Ukrainians looking to come to Canada temporarily will be able to stay for 3 years instead of the previously announced 2 years. They are allowed to work or study while in Canada, and the process to apply for the temporary residence is on average about 2 weeks. The government is even setting up a job bank so Canadian employers can post jobs and hire Ukrainians. So far, 9,000 Ukrainians have come to Canada since late January. Now, here's my take on this. Since we have the third largest Ukrainian population, local Ukrainians will probably want their families here with them. They can now stay here for 3 years, so will a portion of them end up staying permanently, especially if they already have family living here. After all, we do live here with a stable government, healthcare, good schools, jobs, and in Alberta, affordable housing compared to bigger cities in Canada. Plus, most Ukrainians came to the prairies between 1891 and 1914 to be farmers. So they are here, right here in Alberta and Manitoba and Saskatchewan. They will need a place to rent, which could drive down vacancy rates. And if they decide to buy, it will increase sales in these provinces. Now, how big of an effect will it be? Well, it's hard to say. I guess it just depends on how long this war will be and how many people end up coming to Canada. Inflation. Inflation has hit 5.7%, though some predict that it is much higher than that. And in times of high inflation, investors do consider parking their cash in real estate. Now, we get multiple calls a day from investors in BC, Ontario, and all over the world looking to buy in Alberta. Mainly because prices in BC and Ontario are sky high, and Calgary is one of the largest and affordable cities in all of Canada, but I'm sure that high inflation has a lot to do with the demand of Calgary real estate. By the way, if you're an out-of-province or even out-of-town investor looking to buy Calgary real estate, we, the LiveInnerCity real estate team, are looking for joint venture partners. As someone living outside of Calgary but wanting to invest here, the biggest pain points investors have is not knowing how the Calgary real estate market works, the ins and outs of the Alberta Residential Tenancies Act, and managing the tenants and the property. Now, a joint venture isn't for everyone, and we have to make sure it's the right fit for both parties. But it's really for those who want to invest here and not have to worry about anything. We would be an operational partner, so you wouldn't have to lift a finger, which can include managing renovations or legalizing a basement suite. And I would think of it as a white glove service, so you can be completely hands-off, so you can focus your time on what matters to you. So it's really a partnership that ultimately brings you peace of mind. Contact us in the description if you're interested, with the subject title Joint Venture. Okay, let's get into the statistics. Then I will talk about the crazy interest rate hikes, why everyone could be qualifying for a smaller mortgage, and quick advice for buyers, sellers, and investors. Sales. Sales activity reached not only its monthly high, but also a new all-time record for any given month. For detached houses, growth happened in every district of the city except for the city center, because likely related to a drop in new listings. For semi-detached, we posted another record month of sales, and year-to-date sales are over 43% higher than last year. For row and townhouses, sales reached an all-time record this month with 1,550 sales. Apartments had the best year on record, and the narrative of the year of the condos is taking part. For inventory, for detached homes, we had -9%, semi-detached -17%, row and townhouses -28%, and apartments were -31%. Pricing. So for detached, it was plus 20%, semi-detached plus 16%, row and townhouses plus 16.5%, and apartments plus 6%. Months of supply. Okay, now this shows what kind of market we're in. In Calgary, between 2.5 and 4 months is a balanced market. Anything less than 2.5 months is a seller's market. Anything more than 4 months is a buyer's market. For detached, we had 0.96 months of supply, semi-detached 1.08, row and townhouses 0.89, and for apartments 1.51. Every single segment of the market is in a seller's market. Let's talk about mortgage rates. Okay, I want to talk about two main things today. Number one, the crazy interest rate difference from February 28th to March 28th, 2022, and why you're going to qualify for a smaller mortgage. From February 28th to March 28th, the difference for the 5-year fixed rate mortgage is 0.75%. That is huge. And for the 5-year variable rate mortgage, it was 0.55%. So what does all of this mean? Well, on a $500,000 mortgage, that is the difference of about $200 per month for a fixed rate mortgage. And for a variable, that's $130. The thing that never makes the news is fixed rates. Now, what you hear in the news about mortgage rates is usually about the prime rate, which affects variable rate mortgages and HELOCs, home equity lines of credit. Well, how do you choose between the two? What a lot of people do is they try to predict where prime rate is going, And I mean, if you had a crystal ball, that would be easy. But because you can't teleport to the future yet, instead of trying to predict where rates are going to be, it really comes down to your risk tolerance. Now, I'm not going to go into the details in this video. You can watch my fixed versus variable rate mortgage video up here or in the description below. But on a high level, variable rate mortgages have historically saved you more interest than fixed rate mortgages. If you're thinking about getting a variable rate mortgage, then you have to ask yourself two questions. Number one, do I have the budget for a higher payment? And number two, if rates go up, will I lose sleep at night? How you figure this out is by asking your mortgage broker to run some scenarios based on prime rate going up, say, 1 or 1.5%. The reason why people gravitate to a fixed rate mortgage is because the rate is fixed for the duration of the term. So people are okay paying a premium for that peace of mind knowing what their monthly payments are going to be. Mortgage borrowers tend to shy from the variable rate mortgage because payments always change as prime rate changes, but they just stop there without doing any research and what those payments could possibly be. If you knew what those numbers could be, then you can compare that with your budget and see if it fits within your risk tolerance with rising rates. So my final message about rates is get approved today. This will lock in your rate for 120 days and my mortgage team can help you in most parts of Canada, even if you're not looking to buy in Alberta. So give me a shout. Now, if you appreciate this video and the content so far, we do put in a lot of time and research into it, so it would really help us out if you hit the like button and subscribe if you want, our objective perspective on the market. It will take you a few seconds, and of course, we would love your support. Why you could qualify for a smaller mortgage. Now, the Canadian financial system has what's called the qualifying rate. The minimum qualifying rate is defined by OSFI, the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions, and is updated periodically at their discretion. Whether you are putting less or more than 20% down, borrowers must qualify at the greater of the customer's contract rate plus 2% or the minimum qualifying rate, which is currently at 5.25%. The contract rate is the actual rate that you're going to receive from the bank. And comparing today to January 2021, the qualifying rate was 4.79%. So it's gone up 0.46%. Currently, the contract rate plus 2% is actually higher than the qualifying rate, so borrowers will qualify for a smaller mortgage. And this hasn't really happened too many times in the past. And if OSFI raises the qualifying rate, depending on where rates are, that could squeeze out some of the purchasing power from borrowers. So get pre-approved today. My advice for buyers, sellers, investors, and what our team is seeing while helping families. Advice for buyers. Expect to be in multiple offers, no matter what you buy. Our team is experiencing them, including for condos. If a property is priced correctly, expect to pay over list price. Many listings are going live midweek and they're presenting offers on Sunday or Monday. Make sure you're pre-approved and your realtor calls the listing agent to get information to position yourself in the best way possible. If your realtor doesn't do this, then you're just kind of shooting in the dark and you're probably not going to win unless your price is super high. Now, a big piece of winning in multiple offers is working with a real estate partner that is knowledgeable, has a strategy, and can execute. I will be sharing a video that takes you behind the scenes of a listing I just sold and share the mistakes that realtors made that you, in my opinion, can't afford to make in this market. So if you're interested in seeing that, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when that video comes out. Advice for sellers. Now, there are a handful of different pricing strategies depending on the type of property you own and the neighborhood you're in. Make sure you ask your real estate agent what pricing strategy is best for you. Know that there is no right or wrong answer. It just depends on your comfort level. I wouldn't recommend pricing it above market. Your listing could end up being stale, and worst case, which shouldn't happen in this market, you may have to lower your price. Advice for investors. Cash flow is almost out the window for modern looking properties with a good location and a good tenant profile. I would focus more on acquisition rather than cash flow, at least where we are in the market today. In times of high inflation, it's better to own an appreciating asset rather than none at all. So don't be too picky and ensure that you get the right advice to buy the right type of home for you. You can always make improvements with low cost and high impact items such as paint, flooring, and baseboards to increase rent. And just like properties for sale, your photos of your rental should be professional. It's a small cost, but it will help you find tenants quicker. Wow, that was jam-packed. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully it will guide you towards making better real estate decisions and gives you guys who are watching from the outside of Calgary get an idea of what the Calgary real estate market is doing. Again, if you found this video helpful, we would love your support if you hit the like button, and feel free to subscribe if you want more mortgage and real estate content like this. If you want to see some home tours, check out our playlist here. It's going to show up at the end of this video. My name is Felix Chan, Calgary Realtor and Mortgage Broker with the LiveInnerCity Real Estate team, helping you keep real estate simple, and we'll see you in a few seconds.